Today we will finish the programming. So last time we have done the JDBC and multi-threading. So only JavaFX. I'm not going to do JavaFX in great detail. Just a gentle introduction only. Okay, just a gentle introduction only. Right. As I told you, JavaFX is another uh, approach for UI development, non-web applications. So for web application, you have the JSP servlet for the server side, just like PHP and so on. Okay. Right. So JavaFX is an alternative for Swing. So we did Swing AWT. So JavaFX is a newer approach. Uh, so Swing had been there for about since 1990s, latter part of 1990s, for about now 30 years, right? But JavaFX came somewhere around, I think, after 2000. No, I think 2010 or somewhere, about 10 years ago. So therefore, JavaFX is a younger or guy compared to Swing. So therefore, now we have two options when it comes to Java. Windows application development, UI development. Either you can use JavaFX or you can use Swing. So we can't say which one is better. Uh, so in some cases, Swing is better. In some other cases, JavaFX is better. So therefore, we can't say which one is better. It's just two approaches. Okay. Depending on the situation, software developers pick and choose JavaFX or Java Swing. And of course, software developers always have options, right? Whether to go for Java, whether to go for .NET like C Sharp, or should we go for some other technologies, right? And within Java also now we have two options, JavaFX or Swing. And of course, whether to go for the web development, web application, mobile application, or something like Windows application. So many options are there, right? Uh, so JavaFX, as I told you, is a little bit modern approach because JavaFX came later. So the new idea is not only Java in general, separate UI and other controlling things. Uh, that is basically the logic and UI separate it. And UI also the basic controls and styling separated. So this is pretty much properly done in web development because in web development, we have HTML for uh, layouts and other things like widgets, headings, forms, images, right? We have HTML. HTML is dedicated for markup. Then CSS is there for styling, right? So HTML is for markup, but not to make up, not to style. Styling is done by separate technology called CSS. So then programmatic things, we have JavaScript, which is good. So three technologies taking care of three things. But we use these three together, right? So one technology is doing one thing. So, so the idea in JavaFX is also to separate those concerns, right? So let your widgets, its styles, and the logic separate it out, especially event handling and so on. So therefore, in that sense, JavaFX is more modern approach. Okay, modern approach. Okay, but initially you will find it a little bit more difficult to understand JavaFX, right? But once you get familiar with it, so sometimes you will find that JavaFX is even easier than Swing because this separation of concerns, right? So then, if you want to run JavaFX applications, uh, JavaFX is not part of the JDK. Now, Swing AWT part of the JDK. So therefore, you don't need anything else. Just as long as you have the JDK, you can write Swing applications, right? That is what we did, right? Just we create a class, extend in JFrame, and it's a window. But when it comes to JavaFX, they have separated it as a separate library, and it is not part of the JDK because Java is a multi-purpose language. So therefore, they wanted to make JDK small, so that not everyone is interested in desktop application. Okay, and also JavaFX is fairly open source, so therefore JavaFX has separate branches managed by different organizations, communities, and so on. Okay, so therefore, when you say JavaFX, you will be redirected to different sites also. So say you say JavaFX, right? So this you can see openjfx.io, right? So then there's another one, right? So likewise, Oracle also keep track of JavaFX. So therefore, it's like Linux now. Right? JavaFX has branches, different branches. Okay, that is also in a way good. We have more options, right? We have more options. Uh, Same technology, different flavors. Okay, that is also in a way good, in a way bad also, because there can be small incompatibilities and so on. Right. So you don't need to worry about this installation because this installation part is a little bit older. These days, you don't need to do any of these things, right? So therefore, just you can run JavaFX with, especially if you are using IntelliJ, built-in JavaFX support is there. Okay, JavaFX support is there, so therefore you don't need to worry about these steps, right? Uh, because this is last year before. At that time, that support was not there. Now, IntelliJ has provided support because I told you JavaFX is somewhat new technology. It's evolving technology. Things are changing quick and fast. So, about 2 years ago, you need to configure JavaFX after doing a lot of steps. But these days, especially with uh, uh, IntelliJ, you built in JavaFX support is there. Okay, so therefore, first I will tell you exact how to write a small hello world application so that you quickly get into the practical things. Okay, so I will start IntelliJ. But if you want to run this in command line, yes, you need to do some configurations. So you can do a Google search or the YouTube search how to run JavaFX in command lines. Of course, UI development usually we don't do command line because it's too much of work. It's stressful, right? So therefore, you need some high level support when you are doing high level things. Of course, when you learn Java, yes, I told you to keep with Notepad, right? Loops, conditions. Now you have passed that stage. I don't know whether you are still in that stage. That is a different thing, but you must proceed. Okay, you must proceed. So I started my IntelliJ. Uh, so then I will start. Let me post these things. Right. So then I will create a new project. Okay. So look at very carefully what I'm doing. Uh, New project. Okay. So there's option called JavaFX. Okay. So there's option called JavaFX. So just select JavaFX here. Okay. JavaFX here. I'm using sort of a not the latest IntelliJ, somewhat about 6 month old IntelliJ I'm using. Okay. So therefore, if you have the latest IntelliJ, you should have it. Right. So just select JavaFX and I will give a name. I'll call it uh, Java FX demo. Okay. Language is Java. Uh, Build system by default Maven. Just I'll keep it as it is. Okay. Uh, then JDK. I'm just because I have the JDK 20. I will just make it JDK 20. Okay. I'm not going to change it. Okay. If you have earlier version of JDK, just use it. Okay, whatever your default JDK should work. Okay, right. So basically I did not change anything other than I just selected JavaFX as the type. Right, I did not touch anything. Build system, I took the default Maven. Of course, language is Java. Okay, so I just change the name to JavaFX demo. Okay, right. So then I will say next. I'm not going to do any of these things. Okay, so that means basically I'm not going to use any of these additional frameworks and so on. Okay, because we just want to get a feeling of JavaFX only. Okay, so then I will just say create. Okay, it asks whether you need this window or you want to go to a different window. I'll say same window, different project. Okay, uh, this window. Right. So this is my project, and it has generated a class for you. It has generated a class for you. Don't get afraid of these codes. Okay. So basically it has the main method. Main method is calling a method called launch. Okay. But you can see there's no method called launch here. But what you have is start. Okay. So basically when you call the launch method, your JDK will call the start method. It's like thread programming, right? Remember, we override the run method and call the start method. So this is similar. So therefore, don't worry. Yes, you are calling the launch method, but when you call the launch method, actually this is a generated code, or you can write this code by yourself. When you call the launch method, your Java runtime environment will call the start method, right? And the other thing is, if you want to create a JavaFX application, first make sure your code extends class called application. Application is a class in JavaFX application package. So therefore, you need to import it. So that is why I like to get it. That is why they have my IntelliJ has generated the code, because otherwise it's a headache for us writing these code. Okay. Right. So don't worry too much about it. So I just wanted to show you that how it looks like only. Okay. I will explain what is this scene and so on little bit, not in detail, because I told you I'm not going to teach you Java. Actually, some years I don't do JavaFX also for the students, because students feel like it is too much. The syllabus is too big for them. So I don't want to give that feeling to you. That is why I'm just doing just a bit of JavaFX, sorry, because examiners are also aware of that. That is why examiner most of the time they don't ask any question from JavaFX, because they know that your syllabus is pretty big, right? So therefore, we'll just try to compromise, right? Doing a bit of things, but not go into very detail, because you have the exams also, right? Right. So then you can just run it, right click and run. Okay, so just it will take a bit of time to build it. And this is the window we get. It's just like Java JFrame, right? JFrame with a button. And when I click on that, there's event handling also. It says welcome to JavaFX application. That is event handling. So just a window with a button, and also event handling is there. Okay, right. So that is just to get a feeling of how to start with JavaFX. Okay, so that so you create a Java project, new project, make sure you select JavaFX, or you can say JavaFX application from here also. Then just create the project, and it has created a class for uh, with particular one particular window also as a starting point. Okay, right. So, and if you open this SRC folder, you will see there are two classes there under this package. That is hello application. That is what I am looking at. And there's another class called hello controller. That is where we have the event handling code. So actually it is there. Java, welcome to JavaFX application. If I type some XXXXX and again run this, this is what we are running. And let's have a system out println also here. Right. S out. Let's say hi. Now let's run it. You need to run the application class. Okay. Run. Again, it's getting executed. Build and run. Now you can see event handling is also there. And it says welcome to JavaFX application and set of X because I changed it. Okay. Right. So just two classes. Your application class, event handling is separated. Of course, if you want, you can do the event handling in the, remember in Swing also, we can do the event handling in a different class or in the same class or anonymously. So pretty much all three approaches are available in JavaFX also. That is why once you know the Swing technology, you can use that experience and then you can learn JavaFX faster, right? Because these things are now not new to you, right? Right. But at the same time, there are new things like there's something called uh, XML files to configure. For example, there's an additional FXML file, right? FXML file. So that you can use something like HTML. Something like HTML, you know that adding contents is a headache, right? In Swing, low, but adding contents using XML file is easier. Okay, because it's then it is something like web development, right? So web development. So therefore, this is some similar to working with HTML, but slightly different. Okay. Anyway, you have not done web development yet. Maybe you have done it separately. But if you're familiar with HTML, this is something like HTML. Okay. Then this is a label, and this is the button. Okay. And this is the event handling. Right. It says on hello button, click, and that is your event handling code. Okay. Right. Anyway, you will not understand everything. So this is a subject where you will understand gradually, bit by bit, right? Uh, because this is little bit complicated technology, okay, for a beginner, right? So now I will explain a little bit of theory, then I will come back to code, okay? Right. So in JavaFX, which is an alternative for Java Swing, again we have the UI, and also event handling, and you can write your other logic. They connecting to databases and blah blah blah. Okay, so this is the big picture of JavaFX. Okay, so in JavaFX we have a concept called stage. Stage, it's like a stage drama, right? Stage, and stage has scenes, and your scene has nodes. Okay, it's like a drama, not teledrama, like a stage drama. Your stage is there, and there are scenes, right? Scenes, scene one, scene two, then you can close the uh, this and again open it. So this is scene number two and so on, right? So then each scene has set of nodes, or you call it scene graph, okay? And the other thing is JavaFX technology is more than just creating windows like forms and so on. They have even thought about some rich applications like animations, graphics, and so on also. So that means they wanted to develop JavaFX not only as a just to create forms, but support new features like animations, graphical things, and so on as well. So that is why this technology is little bit more complicated, because then you don't need different technologies for the different things. You have one technology doing those almost all the things, right? So we have stage. Stage has scenes, and each scene has scene graph. Scene graph is basically your content. Okay. So stage is a container for scenes, and scene is a container for items that comprise the scene. The individual elements of the scene are called nodes. Okay, right. So in this case, if you look at the generated code, uh, you can see the start method has a parameter of type stage. So that means my start method already got a stage object, right? So basically we are setting the title for the stage, and then for the stage, we have set the scene as this particular scene object. And then we say show the stage. You can see it's like a drama. Right? So you don't need to create a stage object. Stage object is already available to you in your start method. Start method is automatically called by your JVM when you run it. So basically, when you call launch, uh, JVM or Java runtime environment will call the start. And when the start method is called by the JRE, it has already created a stage object and sets given to you. So therefore, you don't need to create a stage object. We have just set the title. But we need to create the scene objects. Remember, the stage has scenes. Right? Stage has scenes. Stage has scenes. So scene object we need to create. So how to create a scene object? Just new scene object. Scene is a class again. Uh, it's in the JavaFX scene package. Right? JavaFX scene package. So when you create the scene object, optionally you can give your XML this particular file. Okay, this particular file, or you can just create it without that also. So then we have to the stage, we have set the scene, and that is our this scene. Then we have just called the show. Right? You can see this code is just that. Okay, just that. And additionally, we have the FXML file that has the layout of the content. That is optional. Either you can create the content using FXML file, or content also you can create here, just like Swing. You can create buttons, right, and so on. Okay. So therefore, you have two options to build your UI now. What are the two options? Always you need a stage and scene, right? Your stage can set different scenes at different times, right? But when it comes to UI, now you have two options. One option is you create your UI just like when you do with your Swing, right? So that is you create your button objects and so on. Okay, that is one option. The second option is create your UI using this XML file. Okay, XML file. And event handling, again, you can do the event handling in a different class, same class, or using anonymous class objects. Right? So therefore, no big difference, but there are small difference between Swing and JavaFX. Okay. Right. Again, don't try to understand this 100%. Right. Try if you understand maybe 10% or 20%, that is enough. Right. For the exams and for the time being, because now your priority is facing the exams. I know that. That is why I'm not going to do take a lot of time for this one also. Right. So then again, you have the layouts and so other concepts like border layout, grid layouts, flow layouts, those are there. Those are in JavaX scene package again. Okay. And again, how do you launch your JavaFX application? Because always what you can run is your main method. In the main method, make sure you call the launch method. Of course, your class must have extended the application. Okay. Class must have extended the application. So then make sure you call the launch method. So when you call the launch method, uh, your JVM will call the uh, start method. And there's a life cycle also. Actually, before start method, if you have written overridden the init method, that will also be called. That will also be called. But after init is called, only your start method will be called. So therefore, init method is a good place to do any initialization. Like if you want a database connectivity and so on. So this is the best place to get those things, because by the time your start method is called, you have initialized things. Okay. Right. So So that now this is the generated code. This is a generated code. Now let's create a class from beginning. Okay, from the beginning. So your task is, remember when you create a JFrame, either you need to create a JFrame object or you need to extend the JFrame class and create your own JFrame object, right? So similarly here, we can extend the application class and create our own application class. Okay, right. So we'll call it new Java class. I call it my application. My application. It's a class. Nothing fancy, just a class. Okay, so then I will extend uh, JavaFX application class. That is JavaFX application. Okay, application. JavaFX application. Make sure you get the correct class. Okay, so it has imported JavaFX application. Now it has given me an error. That is fine. Okay, that is fine. What is error? Must be either declared abstract or implemented abstract method. That means application class is an abstract class. It's abstract class. That is why you should have learned your object orientation, right? So if you don't understand some of these concepts, basically the reason is now you uh, when we did the object oriented concepts like abstract classes and so on, you never pay attention to those. So that is not my problem. That is your problem, right? That is why I took a lot of time doing object oriented. I repeated maybe 100 times when we did the object orientation. I told you that this is the most important topic. This is the most important topic, right? Take it serious, right? So it is not that you can't understand Swing or JavaFX. Basically, you made that mistake when we did the object orientation, right? So that is so therefore it's abstract class with some abstract methods. So that is why it is red, right? So you can see there are abstract start is abstract method. So until you implement the abstract method start, these are the other methods init and stop, right? So until you implement this abstract method start, of course you are going to get errors, and also it throws exception. So therefore you need to throw that exception also or handle it. Okay, right. So let me get back to my application and implement this particular method. Okay. It can't be abstract because you need to now you can see it's not red. I know that it's red is going to be vanished because now my class I don't need to mark it as abstract because I have implemented this. I have implemented this. Okay, right. So therefore now say I have main method. In the main method, I don't call start method, right? I will call the launch method. So then start method will be called through the JRE, through the JRE. Okay, right. So that is the idea. Right. So let's have the main method also. PSVM. Right. So there, what you have to do, launch. Right. So when you launch, it will call the start. Right. Your JRE will call the start. That is, they have coded in these application, these classes. Okay. So let's have a out and say started. And let's run and see whether at least the start method is getting called. I remember when I run, it will run the main method. Okay. Let's run it and see. Yes, it says start. That means when I run the main method, my start method is called. My start method is called. Okay. And not only start method, before running the start method, your JVM will run. JVM will run init method. And when you close your application, it will run the stop method. So this is like this constructor, this is like the destructor. So this is the best place to do some initialization. This is the best place to do your cleanup, right? Init and stop. So therefore, if you want, you can override these two methods also. Override, because these by default, these are not abstract, but at the same time, they have no functionalities also. So let's add those two also. Say init and stop. Is it stop? Yes, stop. Right. So I will have a S out only here. I'll call it init or initialize or init. Here I say stop. Now these are automatically getting called, okay? Now this is the sequence. When you call the launch method, your Java runtime environment will call the init method first. So then it will call the start method. That is where you have interactions with your UI and so on. When you close your windows, it will call the stop method. Okay, stop method. Of course, still I don't have any window or whatever. So therefore, let's see whether at least whether init is called before start. Init must be called before start. Okay, let's run. Right. It says started, but before started, it says init. Okay. So that means after init is called only, start is called. So that is why we say this is the best place to keep your initialization related works, like getting database connectivity and any other preparations. And here you can see the stop is not called because stop is called when you close your application. Now we can't close your application because there's no application, right? There's no application. But if you have application, yes, this will be automatically called. Okay, right? That is the idea. Okay, right. So that is a life cycle. So what is the life cycle method? Init, then start, then stop. Okay, right. So now I'm not going to use that XML. I'm going to do coding bit of manually. Okay. So remember my start method has a stage. Start method has a stage. So therefore I don't need to create a stage. Stage is already there. What I need to do is create a scene and give that scene to the stage. Okay. And also I can set the title to my stage. Okay. So in my case, the stage is called var1. Shall we call it STG or something? Oh, yes, let's call it stage. So that it's easier to type it. Stage dot set title. I'll call it my stage. Of course, if it is form, you can say order or payment or whatever. Okay. So then uh, I will create a scene. Okay. I'll create a scene. So how to create a scene? You need to create a scene object. Right. Scene object. Right. So let's create a scene. Scene. So make sure you import the correct class. It must be JavaFX scene from the scene package. Okay, I'll call it I'll call it scene1 equal new scene. Okay, and it is expecting now. If you go to the scene constructor, it is there. You can see these are the constructors. It has one constructor expect parent, another constructor expect parent and double, parent and point, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. That means it expects something called parent, right? So that parent is basically the layout. So therefore, let me create a layout. Right. Let me import this class. Import JavaFX scene layout stack pane. Stack pane is a layout. Okay. Alt enter. Right. Alt enter. Right. So stack pane is a layout. So let's call it. You can call it any name. Okay. So then let's not add these things. So then that stack pane is a layout. That layout I can give it to the scene because every scene need a layout. So I can give my root or whatever. You can call it even XYZ. Right? So now there's no issue. But now my UI has no nothing. But now I have created a scene. To the scene I have given a layout. In this case, stack pane, or you can pick and choose which layout you want. Right. So now I have created a layout. I have created a scene giving that layout, right? And I have a stage, but not I have not set the scene to the stage. Now what I want to do is I want to set this particular scene object, give it to the stage. Okay. So how to do that? You need to call the set scene method, right? Set scene method. Okay. Right. So let's do that. So my stage is stage, which is parameter stage dot set scene. So it's expecting a scene object. I will send my scene object, scene one object. Right. Still my stage is not shown. Now if I run it now, let's see what happens. Again, init and started will be called. Right. You can see nothing is visible. Nothing is visible because I have not asked it to show. Just like JFrames, you need to set visible true. So therefore now I need to say my stage, show it. But now still my UI has nothing because it's just my scene has a layout, but no content. Not like no content means no button, no text field, nothing. Okay, but anyway, let's run it and see. Because now we have asked the stage to show, and my stage has a scene, right? My scene has a layout, right? And also my stage has a title. But unfortunately, my scene has no content or node. So no node is there. Okay. Right. Now let's run it. Now you can see you got a window, right? But of course, it has nothing. It has nothing, but at least now I got a window. That means my stage is there with the scene. But of course, my scene has nothing. My scene is blank. Then scene එක ආවා scene එකේ නළුව නැහැ. හරි කවුරුත් නැහැ. Scene එක වේදිකාව හිස්. Okay. This is where you need to. Now you can see the stop is also getting called. Right. So earlier stop was not called. Now you can see. Remember we over right now you can see start has been called, init has been called, then start has been called. Still stop is not called. Stop is called when you close it. Close your stage. Close your stage. Now when I close, only stop will be called. So those are automatically handled by your JRE. Okay. Now to the scene, I want to add something. Otherwise, my scene is blank. Okay. So let's add a button. Just like swing has J button. So here we have button. Okay. Button. Button class is you need to import it from not swing, right? You need to import with JavaFX scene control package, right? JavaFX scene control package. Okay, let's create it. So this one I want to import. Yes, JavaFX scene control button Alt enter. Right. So it has imported the correct one. Yes, JavaFX scene control button. Right. So now I have button at least. Okay. Now that button I need to add to the layout. Remember my layout name is I gave it the name root. So therefore now my stack pane layout has a method called getChildren, and then it has a method called add, just like we did it with JFrame, like get content plain mat. So here get children, add. Now I can add my button. Now my scene has a layout. My layout has a one button, and button has a label, say hello world. Okay. Now let's run it and see. Right now this scene has my scene has become very small because it has only one button. It has only took that width. It has took only that width. But if I make it bigger, now you can see the button. Of course, the button is not doing anything. Why? Because I have not done any event handling. Right? I have not done any event handling. Okay. So now you can see gradually I'm building a small UI. Okay. Using JavaFX. Right. So stop method is called when I close the stage. Okay. Close the stage. Right. So when you create the scene, if you want, you can give the size. So I just added the root, right? Your scene constructor has the second, third parameters, remember? Right? Scene constructor. Just give me a bit. It will take time because it's used decompiler to see the method signatures, right? You can see this is one constructor. Similarly, there are some other constructors also which take other variables. Right? You can see double and so on. So those are overloaded constructor is there. If you send the width and height, so that will be also taken. Right? So let's give that also. Otherwise, my scene is taking only the size of the button. Okay. Yeah. So I will say 400, say 300. I think that is width. Okay. So let's say 400, 500 width, 300 height. Now let's run and see. So you must do everything knowing what you are doing. That is the advantage of coding like this. You can see. So if I want to make it a little bit bigger, say 700, 500. Bigger. And button by default is in the center. So if you want to take it to somewhere else or you want a different layout, then you need to further learn what are the different layouts available and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Just like you need to do it for the swing. So now we can see with very little time, now you're up and running with JavaFX. But to start swing, it took more time, right? Because swing is your first UI, but this is your second UI framework. So therefore, you can do it faster because you are already familiar with this. Right? Any questions? Now, only missing thing is event handling. Right? Event handling. Right. Now let's add events. So we will use the anonymous object approach because that is the easiest. And that is the most widely used approach because you have access to the other UI component and your event handling code is inside that. Okay. So how to do that? Your button or whatever object has a method called set on action. Actually, in JavaFX, it is even easier. So there you need to send event handling object. But here we will not create our own classes and blah, blah, blah. We will create an anonymous object because there's a interface called event handler interface. We will create an object or we will create an anonymous class which implement this event handler interface and its object. And also in that class itself, we will override the handle method So therefore, when there's an event, your Java runtime environment will call the handle method because you have said that this is my event handling code. Okay, right. So let's do that because this is not new thing. We discussed this when we discussed the Java swing applications. Okay, JFrames, event handling in JFrames. Right. So set on action. Right. So this is my button. BTN1 dot set on action. You can see it's expect the event handler interface. Right? Event handler is an interface. Okay, event handler is an interface, but of course you can't say interfaces. What you have to do is you need to create an object that implement the event handler interface and send it, or let's do it as anonymous object. Okay, it's an interface. It's just like remember when we discussed the polymorphism. The wet class has a method called treat, and the method parameter was pet. Pet was interface. So that is where you learn the theory. Okay, let me show you the code we discussed with when we did the polymorphism codes. Polymorphism. So remember, pet is an interface. Right? Pet is interface. Remember, pet is the interface. So then we created a class called wet. And wet class has a method called treat pets and it expects pet. Of course, pet is interface. So how do you call this? You can't create pet objects because pet is interface. So what we can do is we create a class which implement the pet interface and those objects we can set because uh, any class that implement the pet interface is a candidate for parameter. So therefore what we did, so we created a class called polymorphism demo. So we created a wet object. Then we created a cat and dog objects. Of course, the dog objects had implemented the pet interface. So therefore, now I can send my dog. I can send my cat. Right? It's expecting a pet interface, but I am sending a dog. Why? My dog has implemented pet interface. My cat has implemented pet interface. I was not able to send the lion because lion, I did not implement the pet interface. Okay, simple as that. So remember, my dog class has implemented the pet and over in the cuddle method. So therefore, yes, I can send my dog object. So first of all, you need to come and understand this. This is the theory. Right? So now we are into the applications. Right? Same concept. Right? So rather than creating those objects separately, now what we do? We will just create an anonymous object. So that also now theory part we have done. Okay, so then we move on to the anonymous objects, right? Inner classes. So remember toy interface, we create object and override the play method. Right? Override the play method. So anonymous object. Anonymous object. So then we did similar thing for this pizza. So we create a subclass of pizza class, anonymous class, and create object out of that. And that class has override the make method. So this is anonymous objects. Okay? Anonymous objects. Overriding the pizza class. Right? We are doing the same thing. Right? We are doing the same thing now. So set on action. Now I will create a new event handler. Event handler is the interface. About what I'm doing is I'm creating a class which has implemented the event handler interface. And from that class, we are creating object. But before creating the object, we override the handle method of the event handler interface. Right? You don't need to write all the things because IntelliJ know what we are doing. So therefore, you just need to say new event handler. Okay, new event handler. Right? Set on action. So my button, where is my button? Let me close this. You just need to say new uh, event handler. Event handler. Now it has added this entire code block. That is because it knows that I'm trying to create an anonymous object. Implementing this event handler interface. So it has added this code because anyway, otherwise I need to type it, right? And you need to override this. Okay. So let's just have a shout and say button is clicked. Right. So this event handling code. Now we are done. Okay. Right. You know what we are doing, right? Because we did it for JFrame as well, and we discussed that under anonymous classes. Right. So now we are done because now my button one's events will be sent to this particular handle method by the JRE. Okay, JRE. Let's run and see. I'm not getting the window. Let me run it again. I'm not getting the window for some reason. Now I got. Right. So now event handling is code is also done. Now when I click, it should say the other message. Okay. You can say button is clicked. So that means events are now fired, and those events are now sent to my code, my event handling code. My okay. So now event handling is also done. Okay. And of course, stop method is getting called when you close the stage. Right? So this is the idea behind JavaFX UI development. Very basic idea. But the only thing is we have not used the XML based UI development. This is just like we are using this similar to JFrames or Swing. Right? Actually, we are using JavaFX technology similar to Swing technology. Okay, similar to Swing technology without using styling, without using XML based UI and so on. Right? Any question? Any question? So lifecycle methods we have done init and stop. Right. So I just gave you a brief introduction into the JavaFX. Okay. So one more thing I want to give a little bit of introduction is that XML base. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you some code examples and just give you a little bit of idea about that concept, right? Just a idea about that concept rather than giving you the details. Okay. Right. Right. So there are different layouts available. Right. So remember in this example, we use stack pane layout. So likewise, of course, stack pane is not going to work for everywhere. So let's add one more tab button. So BTN2. Let's just add XXXX and let's add that one also. BTN2. Run it and see where your button 2 will be, or is it going to be invisible? Right. So you can see, so the second button has come on top of the first button. So that is not what we want to do, right? You can see second button has come on top of that. And so therefore that layout is not very helpful for that kind of a situation, right? Therefore we need better layouts, right? We need better layout for that kind of situation. So therefore I just delete it. Right. So what are the layouts available? Some of the layouts. So you have the BorderPane layout, pane layout, pane, HBox, right? Stack pane, of course. So stack means nodes in the form of a stack, one onto the other, on top of one, the other. Actually, this is one of the least useful layout, right? So then vertical column, VBox, and so on. Okay, right. So just be aware of that there are different layouts available, right? So I'll just give you one example only. Okay, just one example. So this one use border pane layout, right? Border pane layout, where you can put it. It's something like the swing border layout. Sorry, swing. Yeah, you have the left, right, top, bottom, center. Similar layout. Uh, I'll just call it border layout demo. I will share the code after the class. Okay. New Java class border layout demo. Okay, border layout demo. I'll copy paste the code because it will take time for me to code it. Okay, border layout demo, correct. So there's small there. Okay, I'll explain that also. If you copy paste code from the PDF file, of course you can do it. I'm also copy pasting from the PDF. So this PDF is available to you. Uh, just create a class with same name. Otherwise, you need to rename it. Right? Border layout. Yeah, in my case, it is simple low. That is why I get error. Right, so no error now. Right, no error. I will explain the code after running. Okay, so that you can better understand it. Uh, so make sure you have the package. Otherwise, you will get errors because I'm in this particular package. Right, let's run it. Then I will explain the code. Okay. Right. So you can see this is the center area. This is the top area, left area, right area, and this is in the bottom area. So the top area content is in the left corner because by default it's left justified. Okay. Uh, right. So what we have done is uh, we have created a class which extends the application, obviously. So then we have overwritten the start method. Of course, we get the stage. We have called primary stage. We have created a border pane layout. To that layout, to the top area, left area, right area, center area, we have added labels. Of course, the label we could have created separately, but to make it compact, we have added labels, just one label for each area, because this is to explain that there's a layout called border pane. Okay, so then we have created a scene with our border pane layout, and this is width and height, and we have set the scene of my stage as this particular scene object, and then we have asked it to show. Simple as that, and no, right? No event handling, nothing. Okay, no. So that is the result. Okay. So similarly, now you can copy paste and learn, or you can just ask ChatGPT to generate a code for you to play with. Okay. Say write write simple JavaFX code to demonstrate maybe what particular layout you want. Let's say you want to play around with, say, right, you want to play around with uh, vertical box layout. Okay, VBox layout, VBox layout. So this is the code. Extends application. So that is how you learn, right? Remember, you always remember you are in 2024, right? In ගල්යුගේ නෙමෙයි. We'll call it VBox demo. මෙතෙන්ට ගෙනල්ලා දැම්මට පස්සේ තනියෙන් ඉස්සරහට යනවා. VBox demo. So that I can just copy paste and no errors because it imports and everything is there. Right. So it has created a VBox layout, 10 pixels, and it has added some labels and so on. Let's run it first. And it has said create a scene and set the stage. So you can see, anyway, it's not a very sort of ugly one, but it says enter your name, then the text box, then the button. That is, it's in a vertical box, right? Of course, that is not very practical, but you can see it's a vertical box. Well, usually these things are good for something like if I want to develop something like this tool, right? I use it. I use this tool for drawing. Now this is how can we develop this vertical box? VBox layout is ideal because we have just few icons. So VBox layout is the ideal for that. Right? You look at this something like this. Okay. Anyway, this is not a very good example, practical example, but it shows VBox layout. Okay, VBox layout. Right. So likewise, so you should be able to understand different layouts and so on if you are really interested. Maybe after exams, right? Don't spend a lot of time for right now, right? Right. So then the horizontal box layout. Okay, adding few buttons. VBox layout. So this is better example actually. Some buttons. Okay. I think this is a better example than what ChatGPT generated. Okay. Let me change it to our simple one. This is simple code and little bit easier to understand code. Okay. VBox. Just two buttons in vertical box. Right. Just two buttons. Okay. No event handling, nothing. Right. So this is a grid pane layout. Grid pane layout is when you are working with coordinates, right? So very rarely we use grid pane row at manner, but grid pane is something we use with tools. Tools will generate the code. That is the better approach. Right. So you drag and drop and create the UI, and the tool will generate this code. So that is the idea rather than we write it. Okay. So then the flow pane layout is there, something like this. It's flow like when the width is not enough, it will go to the next and so on. Okay. Right. So then JavaFX controls, we already use labels, buttons. So similarly, you have the radio buttons, text fields, password fields. So I have given you some examples. Okay. Password fields, radio buttons, checkboxes, and so on. Combo box with data. So you have string array. Giving that string array to the combo box will fill the combo box with those string values. Okay. So those things you can just copy paste and run it. And then event handling I already explained, right? So using anonymous class, so you can create your own separate event handling class and blah blah blah. So many options are available to you. Okay, but the easiest and the most widely used thing is this use of anonymous class objects. Okay. Then I told you this JavaFX technology was developed not only to create forms and so on, but to support some uh, animations and simple things like that also. Okay. For that, we have JavaFX classes. Okay, JavaFX class. Of course, in the exams, they will never ask about these things, but this is just for your uh, understanding. This is how you create a sort of a rectangular shape. Okay, let me do this. I'll call it new Java class, say graphics demo one. I just call it graphics demo. Okay, right. Let me copy paste the code. I need to rename the code, okay? Fix demo one. Or I just get rid of the public class, okay? Or we'll rename graphics demo one, okay? Right. So let's run. It's creating a rectangular shape, right? Rectangular shape. This is not a text field or whatever. You can see there's a class called rectangle. You have set the width and height, right? And this is the x and y coordinates of the initial point. And you have added to the, so there's a group, we have group it, and then you have added that group put into the scene, and then that scene is set to the stage, right? Stage, right? So I'm just introducing you some possible uh, features. Okay, then there are effects like glow. It's something like flash, shadow, lighting, reflection, bloom. Okay, and so on. So this is I think shadow. Sorry, yeah, drop shadow effect. Okay, let me copy paste this drop shadow demo. You can also copy paste, right? If you have JavaFX, new Java class, drop shadow demo. I just keep the package because otherwise I'll get errors. Right. So why I'm getting error? Semicolon is missing. So make sure you add the semicolon. Okay. Let's run. So this is a circle object with the drop shadow also there. This is the shadow of the circle. This is a circle object, radius, center, and radius, and color also set. Right? And we have created drop shadow object, okay, with the color. And for this circle object, we have set the effect, and the effect is drop shadow. So there are different effects you can set for your objects. It's really well thought out framework. Okay. Now we have created our scene. To the scene, we have added the circle. It's a blank pane. And then we have set the scene for the stage and show it. This is the simple pane or the default pane. Okay. මොකද අපි එක object එකදී. Right. So similarly, you can, so these are transforms. Transforms are little bit of uh, distortions. Okay. Transform means you just bevel it, rotate it, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Scale it. That's called transformations. Okay. So let's do one more such example also. And just to show you that these features are available, right? So learning these things are not difficult things. So you should have spent quality time learning what is programming, right? What is object orientation? What is exception handling, right? What is collection framework, right? What is object? What is association? What is inheritance? Now you are ready for your applications if you have done it properly. Because that was the hard work. This is the easy work for those who do it. So these are some transformations. Okay, again we create two rectangles and set the fields, and then we rotate transformation. Okay, so for the rectangle 2 we have set that rotation. Right. Now let's run it and see. So you can see the second rectangle is rotated. Uh, how much? Is the rotate object? The angle is that. If you want to increase, you can say maybe 50, little bit bigger rotation. It's bigger rotation. Or if you want to make it smaller, only 20. Just a tiny bit of rotation there. Right? So just a tiny bit of rotation. Okay. Right. So then you can do simple animations. Right. Rotate, transitions, scale. That means grow, fade, fill. Right. Path transition. You can move it through a path. Okay. Purely by coding. Right. And so this is a rotation animation. Again, we have created a rectangle, set fill, strokes, stroke width. Now we have created a rotate transformation object. And we have set the axis to rotate, how much, what is the angle, right? How many times you want to do it, and duration. Do you want to do auto reverse? Right? That means you do that in a loop or not. So then you rotate, call the play method of the rotate. Then we have created a group layout. Okay, and add it to the rectangle is added to the root, and then the scene is set, right, and show. Right, it's keep rotating in a loop. Okay, it's keep rotating in a loop. So you can change the speed, right, cycle count, right, and so on. So if you want to make it slowly, maybe 3000 milliseconds, that is 3 seconds. This is auto reverse true. Okay, let's say auto reverse. Yeah, now it will rotate it in a slowly. Slowly. Okay. So let's say auto reverse is not set. Then I think the same direction it will rotate. So that is what first cycle is stopped, then the second cycle, right? Without auto reverse. So this is how you by coding you do these things, okay? Right. So I think that is enough JavaFX for you guys, because you guys are preparing for the exams also. Yeah, so a little bit of that FXML file. So I told you that in web development, all your UI is set up using HTML code tags, which is very convenient. So we can use the same approach in JavaFX programming. So rather than we create buttons and blah, blah, blah in the code, which is not the easiest way to do, best way to do, we can use XML, not the HTML, XML to create your buttons and so on. Okay. So then your UI part is transformed to XML file. So this is your layout. You can define what is your layout also tag. Then you have the your children and so on. Okay, children and so on. Okay, let's see whether we can run it. Let's say FXML demo. And let me copy paste the code. Of course, you can then keep adding your code. Okay. Right. So now I need to create this file. I will use the absolute path. Okay. Otherwise, I need to put it into the class path. This is D drive simple sample FXML. Okay. It's in the D drive. So therefore, it will take from the absolute path. Otherwise, there will be some issues. Uh, I need to configure it. It's just XML file. Okay. We just call it FXML because it's JavaFX XML, but it's basically XML file. Right. So let me open it with Notepad. So when it is run, it will read this XML file because we have given the location to get the XML file. Okay. But you need to write the code. Code I will copy paste. It has just one label. Okay, just one label. So you can add rest of the stuff. Okay. Right. Now let's run and see. I hope it will pick the file. And the label says hello world FXML. Okay. Right. You can see hello world FXML. Okay. Of course, you can add more sophisticated content. Okay, buttons and so on. And you can set up different layouts. So then your UI is one code, one place. Right. So you don't mix everything together. That is the idea. Okay. So let's not get into more details. Just remember in this XML file, I can keep adding other contents. Okay. I can keep adding other contents. Okay. This is a VBox anyway. So for example, if I add another label, that will be there. Okay. And buttons and so on. And it's a VBox, vertical box, you can see. Now the labels are there. Okay. Labels are there, one after the other. Right. Right. So that's it. Basically, I don't want to do a lot of other. Then if you want to add, there's a way to do styling, right? CSS styling. Of course, CSS you will be learning in semester 2, HTML and CSS. So CSS is a styling technique. So that styling we can apply in JavaFX also. So therefore, we can separate out the styling, layout, and coding into 3 separate files. Styling is in CSS file, layout is in your XML file, and your event handling and other code is in your Java code, right? So anyway, I'm not going to do that kind of sophisticated things, but maybe we can do this one also. We need the hello CSS file also. Do we have the CSS file? Yeah, this is the CSS file. Let me create the hello CSS file. New text document. CSS file. Okay. CSS you will be doing in semester 2. These are not for the exam. Right. So don't worry about these, how we set the CSS and so on. Those things you will learn in detail when we do web development. Okay. Right. Now let's create this class. CSS demo. New Java class. Let me copy paste. Of course, you can perfectly understand this code within, right, 1 or 2 hours if you know your object-oriented programming. Okay, but don't try to do those things right now. Maybe after exams. Okay, right. So this one is creating a text field, but this time we are not using FXML. Later you can combine FXML and CSS together also. This is only CSS, right? But styles are taken from, you can see scene.get style sheet. Styles are taken from style sheet called hello.css. Okay. Uh, so if you don't use the styles, okay, if you don't use the style, this will be the output. Okay, I just commented that, and let's run it without styling. Okay, right. So you can see learning JavaFX, no styles. That means I have not included the style sheet. Now I will include the style sheet also and run it. This is very fancy styling anyway. So this is the result. That is after applying the styles. So the idea is applying style separated into a style sheet. Okay. Right. Then of course you can connect styles, layouts. So the FXML content layout in FXML file, so styling in CSS, and content in your other event handling and so on in your Java classes. Okay. Right. So that's it. Okay. Right. So I just gave you a very gentle introduction. I took about 2 hours. Yes. 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. Yes, 2 hours just to give a gentle introduction into Java FX. Right. So we'll do few more past paper questions that we skipped, and then we are done with Java. Okay. Because we have done 3 years of past papers also. Right. So let's quickly do that and finish it because you need time for your studies, exam preparations. Right. So let's take 2023 paper and see whether there are any questions we have skipped. I will share you the code right after the class, okay? Right after the class. Right, 2023 answers. Right, so did we skip? Have we skipped? Maybe just 1 or 2 questions we have skipped. Of course, you have the answers and everything now. You can do it by yourself, but I will just see whether we have skipped any question. Yeah, this is a scanner class. Right, maybe 39. Right, 39 and 40. Right, this is multi-threading, and this is JDBC. Right,
We can do 32 also.
which question? 32.
32 onwards we didn't do.
32 onwards. Okay, so we'll go from 32 onwards then. Okay, just give 1 minute. Right, so let's move on to 32 onwards. Okay, select the most suitable options for filling the blanks with following statements. First one, helps to embed supplemental information into a source file. So if you want to add supplemental information, usually what we use? We use annotations, okay? We use annotations. So the exam timetable they have published, right? Only thing is they need to confirm it. I think the timetable they have published. I mean the times. Okay. So the exact times they have not published, right? BIT dot. I don't know whether they have published it now. Not yet. So usually they exact the dates won't be changed, right? If date changes are there, they should have informed you. So basically, you have three subjects in 25th, other three subjects in 26th. So therefore, not a big deal, right? Anyway, you have uh, three subjects. So exact timetable they will publish maybe 1 week. Okay, 1 week before the exams with the admissions. Okay, with the admissions. So there will be three subjects in Saturday. I think January 25th is a Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. Other three subjects in the Sunday. Okay. So that is how it goes. That is how it goes. Okay. No, you have five subjects, right? Not six subjects. Yeah, three subjects in one day, two subjects in other. Usually morning one subject, afternoon one subject. But communication paper is one. Sorry, probably introductory maths paper is 1 hour, but just double check, okay? It's 1 hour, 2 hour. So then there will be two subjects in the morning and one subject in the afternoon, like 9 to 11, maybe something like 12 to 2, and maybe 3 to 5, something like that. So that is how exams are conducted, okay? Exams are conducted. If it is 1 hour paper, I'm not very sure whether it's 1 hour, 2 hour, the introductory maths or the fundamentals of maths. So then it will be 2 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour. Okay. Right. So let's finish this. So this is basically annotations, right? So supplementary informations are provided using annotations. Annotations are classes that encapsulate primitive types within an object. So that is wrapper classes, right? Type wrappers is the process by which primitive types is automatically encapsulated into equivalent type wrapper, whether an object, whenever an object of that type is needed. So that is auto boxing. Okay. So annotation, wrapper classes, and auto boxing. Right. I'll go for B. 32, I'll go for B. It's B. Okay. B. 33. Which of the following indicates the correct statement regarding packages in Java? Right? Remember, multiple answers are possible. Packages are containers for static classes. No. Packages are not for, there's nothing for static class. Actually, there's nothing for static classes. Okay. We have static variables and static methods, not static classes. When creating a new class definition, packages will be automatically added. No, it is not automatically added. You need to create your packages. Okay. C. It is a data storage mechanism that facilitate code reuse. Actually, this is a bad word, data storage mechanism, but facilitate code reuse. Actually, it's not really code reuse also, right? It's more reusing the class names and so on. Okay. So that is also a little bit confusing. Let's say no for that also because it's not code reuse. Okay. Uh, there can be classes not accessible by code outside that package. Yes. For example, if you have uh, package level, that means you have only two levels, either public or no keyword is used. Public means any package from any package you call it. But if you don't have any keyword, like just say class ABC, then only package level only you can use it. Other packages can't access it. So that is correct. Java does not support creating hierarchy of packages. Of course, we can create hierarchy of packages. So I'll go for D only, right? D only. So 33, what is the answer? So examiner has taken both C and D. That means examiner has taken C. It is a data storage mechanism. I don't know. I don't agree with that answer. It's a debatable answer for me, right? So that shall we ask ChatGPT also? Because for me, that is little bit odd answer. Okay, I don't know. It depends on the way you uh, interpret the word storage. Okay, storage. By the way, I'm curious to check this with the ChatGPT also. Okay, I'll say multiple answers are possible. Otherwise, ChatGPT thinks that only one answer is correct. Otherwise, it will bias towards only one answer. Right, correct statement is D. And potentially C if interpreted as promoting code reuse. You can see that is what I exactly told you. The correct answer is D. Right? Correct answer is D. That is Java does not support creating hierarchy of packages. Uh, Sorry, there can be classes not accessible by code outside the that package. That is the correct answer. And ChatGPT says D is the correct answer. Potentially C. That is, if you interpret the word storage in a different manner. So examiner has say taken C and D. Okay, but that is under the condition that you interpret the word storage uh, as promoting code reuse. Okay, so therefore, so C can be taken conditionally the way you interpret it. Right, so that is what I also told. Okay, right. So therefore, anyway, examiner has taken both C and D. Right, 34. Consider the following two classes defined in Java. To access the superclass version of the draw method, which of the following lines need to be added to the given space mentioned as A? Now, this is the shape class. In shape class, you want to call the draw method of the, sorry, this is the circle class. In circle class, you want to call the draw method of the shape class. So then you need to say super dot, super dot the method, right? So that means second one, right? Super dot draw. 34, I'll go for B. Yes, 34B. 35. Consider the following code written in Java. It's a string builder class. Which one of the following is correct regarding the output of the above code? Above code. Right. Basically expecting the output, right? Right. So we have created a string builder. Then we have for loop. For loop goes from 0 to what is values? What is values? Values is the parameter of the sample method. Okay, sample method. So therefore, you need to read this from here, main method. We have a string array. So then we call the sample method and we send the string array. Then we print the result, right? So then we are sending the string array as values, string array. What we are getting is A, B, C, D, E, 4, 5 strings. Okay. So then here we have created a string builder. Now we have taking one by one from the string array and appending it to the result string builder. String builder, you are going from 0 to the length of the array. Length of the array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, less than 5. Right, less than the length of the array. That means less than 5 means until 4. Because size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Less than 5 means less than less, that is I is less than 5. Okay, starting with 0 and it's incremented by 2. So therefore, initially it will be 0, then 3, and that's it, right? 0, then 0 plus 2, sorry, 0 plus 2 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. Less than 5 means 0 to 4. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means you are appending 0th element, second element, and fourth element only, right? To the string but builder. Remember, string builder as an append method, right? So therefore, your string builder will have ACE. Then you convert it back to string. Your string build object is converted to string and return it because you are supposed to send a string. So therefore, my output is ACE because you are printing that return value. I'll go for C. Right. So 35, I'll go for C. 35, yes, C. These are easy questions, right? If you know your subject. 36. Which of the following statement is correct regarding scanner class? Scanner class can be used to read from the console, right? It is used to formatting output in the Java application. No. Scanner class is not for output. That is printf and so on. It reads formatted input and convert it into binary form. Yes, right. It's sort of a is it binary form? Binary. I don't know whether it's a binary form. That is my concern. Okay, but it can read input for formatted input. Okay, this is a little bit. I'm not very sure. So let's read the third one. It can be used to read input from any source that implements readable interface. Yes, any source as well as it is implementing the readable interface, but we usually use it for system in because system in has implemented that interface. Okay, so therefore third one is definitely correct, but I'm not very sure about this binary form. Okay, binary form. So therefore I'll only go for third one. Right, I'll only go for B. By the way, you can't have multiple answers like this, right? You can't say three only and then two and three only and then one only, right? So there should be only one answer. So therefore, these questions are a little bit risky, right? Little bit risky because you don't get half marks and so on, okay, for these kind of questions. Right, 36, what is the answer? Examiner has given, you can see there's a star mark. That means possibly examiner has given to both the answers. Consider either one of these answers, yes. I think the examiner has accepted that it is fuzzy, and therefore examiner has given marks to. Here it means if you have mark B, you get full marks. If you have mark D, you get full marks. Otherwise, you get 0. This is a special case. Right? This is a special case. So 33 also the same, right? So what is 33? Yes. So 33 also examiner has relaxed that because I told you uh, this which one is that storage, that word is fuzzy, so therefore examiner has given full marks to both these possibilities, right, so this is special case. Okay, usually that is not the way you got given marks, right? So let's move on to our 37. So this one is also answer. Examiner has taken B also answer, and also D also answer. That is those who have marked 2, 3 both, or you have marked only 3, both are given marks. Okay, 36. Sorry, no, B and D, right? Yes, B and D, correct. Because those are the two controversial answers. Okay. Right, 37. Which of the following statement is correct regarding access modifiers in Java? Classes or interfaces declared as public can be accessed from any other classes. Yes. The protected allows access within the subclass, yes, and classes within the same package, yes. Same package you can access Any subclass, even though you are outside the package, still you can access if it is protected. Okay. If it is a protected method, even outside packages, you can access that method. That is the additional privilege you get for protected. Private access modifiers restrict the access of a class method only to the class in which it is declared. For me, all are correct. Right? I'll go for all. E. Yes, C. 38. Which of the following statement is correct regarding design concepts in Java? Procedure-driven approach considers the processors of a program. Yes, procedure means process. So you think in terms of processing, right? Data-driven approach to a program design is based on the data in the program more than the process. Yes, that is what I mean by data-driven. So you think from data perspective. Procedure means you think from processing perspective. Okay. In the procedure-driven approach, the actual structure of the data can be seen before all the high-level processes are defined. No, it is the data-driven approach where you drive from data. So here, data is not your prominent thing. So if right, so this is actual structure of the data can be seen means you start from data and you drive your design from data side. So I'll say no. So this is more correct for the data-driven. I'll go for C, 1 and 2. 38. Examiner's answer is C. Right, correct. 39. How many questions are there? 2 more. Which one of the following statement is correct regarding multi-threaded programming? We did multi-threaded programming last class, okay? It supports the main loop polling mechanism. Main loop polling, what is that? Main loop polling. I have no idea about this. I have not heard anything like that, okay? A thread priority can only be set once and cannot be changed dynamically. That, of course, we can set the thread priority, but I don't know whether we can change it again. This is a very difficult question. So examiners deliberately set up an advanced question, right? Otherwise, you guys sometimes get 100 out of 100, right? Uh, I have never tried it. I don't know. I have never tried it, but we can set the thread priority, but I don't know whether we can change it time to time. Okay. I have no idea about this. Possibly, yes. Okay. So therefore, I'll say this is wrong. Possibly, I think we should be able to change the thread priority time to time. Okay. So therefore, I'll say, okay, maybe I'll say wrong, but I'm not very sure. I have no idea what is this, but what is this? Okay. Thread local variables are shared among all threads and have the same value in each. I don't know what is this. Okay. What is thread local variables? Okay. Thread priority in Java is reliable mechanism to control the order of thread execution. No, it's not very reliable. We can just suggest. Thread priorities just we suggest. It's not very reliable. There's no guarantee. So for me, it's definitely no. Single thread programs must wait for each task to end before starting the next. Yes, right. Single thread program after one first statement is done on the second statement. So this is the only answer for me. Other answers, this is definitely no for me. I have a lot of doubts about these things. So therefore, I'll only go for E. Okay. Because I don't want to take risks. Okay. I'll go for E. 39. Examiner has given mark for D and E. Again, there's a star mark. What is that? That means if you have mark, yeah, either one option, no other, not both. That means if both, you don't get marks. But if you have only one of those, you get marks. So that is the case for previously also. So anyway, I get full marks because I mark only E. So therefore, I should get full marks because it's examiner says if you have mark only E, give the full marks. If you have mark only D, give the full marks. But if you have mark both, don't give the full marks. So don't give marks. because this is a special case, right? Special case. This is not a case because according to examiner has not used the normal approach where each correct answers get +1 divided, wrong answers get -1 divided. But because this is a controversial answer, examiner has set those rules. Okay. Right. Final question. Right. JDBC. It is primarily used to connect Java application to NoSQL databases. Right? NoSQL databases? No. JDBC is mostly used for relational databases, right? To connect to relational databases. I'll say no. We also connected to the MySQL relational databases. JDBC uses SQL or structured query language for interacting with databases. Obviously, yes. That is why we are sending JDBC SQL queries. JDBC is a database management system that is used to interact with relational database. It's not DBMS. JDBC is not a database management system. MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL, those are the database management system. JDBC is a connector technology. Connector technology. Okay. So I'll go for 2 only. That is B. Yes, it is B. Okay. Right. So that is 2023. Do we have any questions, leftover question from 2022? Maybe just 1 or 2. Let's see. Any swing JDBC type of questions? If you know any questions, let me know, okay? Because otherwise I will miss it.
39 and 40.
39 and 40 only we did not do, right? Right, okay. Thank you. 39 and 40. Right. So this is a thread programming question. What is the use of sleep method? Sleep method, when you call the sleep method, your thread will sleep for that amount of time. Say you can give the as argument, you can give the number of milliseconds. So once the sleep line execution come to the sleep line, your thread will get back to the runnable and wait. Okay, it will get to the sleep sort of a situation, and until that milliseconds are done, it won't taken back to the run. So that means guaranteed that time period is preserved without that thread is running. Other threads can run by that time. Okay. Then afterwards, it getting back to the runnable. That means it doesn't guarantee that after say you sleep it for 100 milliseconds, it doesn't mean that after 100 milliseconds this is going to be run. No, after 100 milliseconds, now again this is a candidate for running. But during that 100 millisecond or nanosecond, it is not a candidate for running. Okay, that is how it works. It causes the current thread to complete execution. No. It causes the current thread to abort its execution. Yes, abort, not abort. Abort means you completely, right? Completely. What is my abort? Abort means අපි කියන්නේ ඒක අතෑරලා දානවා. අතෑරලා දාන්නේ පොඩි නිින්දක් දාන්නේ. Right? So let's say no. It causes the current thread to hand over its execution to another thread. Actually, indirectly that happened, but not directly because still I don't get the correct answer. Maybe this is a possible answer if nothing is there. It causes the current thread to wait for the thread to complete its execution. No. It causes the current thread to pause for a specific number of milliseconds. So that is the exact answer. Current thread to pause, right, for a specific number of milliseconds. So that number of milliseconds you need to give as a parameter. Okay. So therefore, for the proper answer is E. I don't know whether the examiner will take C also, but I'll go settle only for E. 39, what is the answer? Yes, answer is C. Okay, answer is C. That is the proper answer. Right, 40. Which of the following API is used to establish connection to the database in Java? JDBC. Right, C. You can see they have not asked any advanced question on swing, JDBC, right? Nothing, right? JavaFX, no JavaFX question, right? Right. So, any question from 2021 we have skipped? 2021. Maybe last questions. I think we have done this.
33 onwards.
Which one? 20?
33
33.
onwards.
Right. We'll do 33 onwards. Right. Which of the following are the valid mouse listener interfaces allowed in Java? So that of course I also can't remember, right? Because I can't remember all these listener interfaces names. Okay. Uh, valid mouse listener interfaces allowed in Java. That means the methods. I think it's asking for the methods. Okay. Methods in mouse listener. Uh, of course, I can't remember. I just use my common sense. Mouse click, possibly yes, because we are interested in mouse click. Usually, we are interested in, I think, mouse press is same as mouse click. I don't know whether which one is now correct. Maybe one of those. I can remember something like mouse release and mouse entered, possibly mouse exit. Entered, exited. That is mouse entered the particular region, mouse exited. You can try out those things by coding. Okay. And writing this same comes, you can have system or println and see that event is fired. Mouse click is there, but I think mouse click and mouse double click should be there. I don't know whether mouse press is there. Okay. So I'll go for everything other than D, but actually I can't remember. Usually I don't memorize these things, but okay. I'll go for everything other than D. Okay, I'll go for ABC. Right, let's see answer 33. All are correct. So that means anyway, I get fair amount of marks. I get actually for this one, how many marks I get? I get because on all are correct means everyone get plus one fifth. That means I get plus 4 out of 5. I'm happy with that. It looks like mouse press is also. I don't know why mouse press is there when mouse click is there. Okay, so let's ask ChatGPT. What are the methods in mouse listener interface? Methods in mouse listener interface in Java. So I don't worry about the spelling, right? ChatGPT can fix it. Right, mouse clicked is there, mouse press is also there. Right. So press means you have press but not yet release. Right? So there's a difference between click. Click means you click and press and release. Press means you press but not yet release. So every time, so basically whenever mouse click event is fired, this is also fired. Okay. So then release. So basically mouse click means press and release. Then mouse entered, that is mouse has entered the particular region. The mouse had exited from that region. So there's a code door. So you can try out this code. Okay. You can try out this code. Uh, yeah. So yeah. So let me run this. This is swing. Okay, this swing example. Test implemented all these methods. Of course, you need to, otherwise you get errors, right? So we have extended the JFrame class. Why I'm getting errors? That is because this project is JavaFX project. That is why I'm getting errors. Okay. By the way, you tried it by yourself. Okay, because this is JavaFX project, you don't have the swing packages available. Mouse listener accept. Right. Let me delete this. Okay. So definitely this code will work. Okay. So don't worry. You can run it and see. Okay. Right. So anyway, the answers are correct. So mouse press is also an answer. Okay. Mouse press is also an answer. Right. 34. Which of the following is the valid constant value representing the max priority class property in the thread class? I think maximum priority is 10. I can't remember exactly. I think we did that kind of example. Let me copy this code. Otherwise, I will forget it. Okay. If you want to copy paste this code, of course, make sure you copy it to this particular package. Okay. Com example JavaFX demo. Otherwise, you will get errors. Okay. You can't just copy paste the code and run it. You need to create a JavaFX project and run it. Okay. Therefore, this code is not going to be much useful to you guys. But you can maybe just copy paste your code from here, but don't run it from this. Okay. Right. Codes. So this is our final set of codes for semester 1. 20 Java FX. Right. So thread programming we did, right? JD. Thread programming, I have not copied your code. We did it, but yes, we have copied. Yeah, maybe I did not do any thread priority related things, I think. No thread priority, but I explain what is thread priorities. Okay. Yes, you can see I have set it to 10. So set 10 is the highest priority. If I can remember, highest priority is 10. So usually it's 1 to 10 scale. Okay. Right. So this is our 21 then, right? JavaFX is 21. I will share you the full code, right? Entire code after the class. That is from day 1 onwards. Okay. Right. So therefore answer is max priority should be C. 10. 34. Is it C? Yes, C. 35. Which of the following needs are valid calls from the main method to start JavaFX application? Today we did. So how do you call it? Right. So today also we did, right? So how do you start? We call the launch method. When we call the launch method, your runtime will call the start method, but we call the launch method, right? Launch with the args. 35E. So that is from today's session. 35E. E. Okay. I told you that they will ask only a simple question like that. Okay. Right. So this is a JDBC we did last class. Consider the following Java statement on database connection. I want everyone to get A pluses for Java. Right. I don't mind whether you get, okay, I want all of you guys pass all your subject. That is a different stage. But I don't mind whether you get B or C plus for your free and open source software. I know that is memorizing, right? Even my charter subject. But I want every one of you guys getting good results like A pluses for programming, computer system, information systems, and maths. Okay. And of course, the programming. Okay. ඒ කියන්නේ කටපාඩම් කරන්න බෑ මේවා නේද? මම තේරුම් අරගෙන කරන්න ඕනේ වෙන අරවා කටපාඩම්. කටපාඩම් එකම සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකයි දෙන්නේ මේ පාර. ඒ තමයි මොකද්ද? free and open source software එක අතාරින්න එපා නැත්නම් ඒක අපරාධ එක ෆේල් වෙයි යා. වාට සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක. Right. So this is a JDBC. Right. Which of the following is valid options for the blank? So usually it is URL, username, password, right? If I can remember URL, username, password, right? So that is blank one is URL. Blank two is username. Blank two, three is password. Usually that is right. I'll go for 3, 1, 2. I'll go for E. I think that is correct if I can remember correct. 36 E. Yes, 36 E. 37. මේ වන මම කරන්න ඔගොල්ලෝ තනියෙන් කරගන්න. පැදුරු දිගාරින්න බෑ මට. ඊට වඩා වහකුප්පියක් බොනවා. ඔගොල්ලෝ කරන්න බෑ එක්සෑම් එකට ගිහිල්ලා හරි. So your task is write a Java program to initialize an array with the following numbers and print the given numbers in the reverse order on the console. Okay. So then you need to identify which when you so for example first you take 1 3 7 6 5 4 7 7 2 take those lines and write it and see whether it is going to do this. Is it going to do this? Right. So then write these lines and see whether is it going to do this. What is the task? Initialize an array with the following numbers. That is 1 13 4 7 10 and print the given numbers in the reverse order on the console. Right. So that is what you are supposed to do. So මේ line codes ටික ලියලා බලන්න ඒකෙන් ඔය කියන වැඩේ වෙනවද කියලා. හරි. මේක කරන්න ගියොත් මට නම් exam එකම මරාගෙන මැරෙන්න හිතෙනවා. ඒක හන්ද මම මේක කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන්න බෑ exam එකට මොකද? හරි. හරි. ඒ වගේ so this is the second one. Right. Next one. And next one. So that means find out which line of codes out of these, right? බලන්න එකම line of codes මේ දීලා තියෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒවත් වෙනස් කරනවා next time බලන්න පිස්සු හැදෙනවනේ වැඩි යන්න ගියාම නේද? So you write down these lines line by line and see whether is it going to when you execute that are you going to get this output, right? ඒක ටික ඔයා කරන්න මම නම් ওই ලකුණු ටික ඔයාම තියාගන්න කියලා එනවා එන්නේ. මට නම් බෑ ඔච්චර කටු ගන්න. හරි. ඕගොල්ලෝ එහෙම කරන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ fight කරන්න හරි. So for example if you do it very fast, right, you have 2 hours, so maybe you finish all the other things in 1.5 hour, then you have about half an hour to do these questions. You take your time, write down your statements and see if do a dry run and see whether is it going to do this, is this going to do this, is this going to do this, right? Most of the time only one answer will be there. Answer දෙකක් තියෙනවද දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වුණොත් එම් පතවත් අමාරුයි. බලන්න අන්තිම හරිය තියෙන එක answer එකයි. ඔව්. එක නෑ මේක දෙකකුත් තියෙනවානේ. Right, so you do it by yourself, okay? Right, so that is 2020. One, right, 21, 22, 20. Yeah, that's it. So usually I do only 3 years. ඕනයිදී මොක අවුරුදු 5ක් නෙමෙයි අවුරුදු 10ක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ. එහෙම කළා පාස් වෙලා වැඩකුත් නැහැ. So therefore now it's your task to finish it. Okay? So we will have one more session. මම දැන් ඒකත් අවශ්‍යද කියලා ඔයගලන්ට free and open source software ඒක දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ මට වැඩි හොඳට free and open source software දන්නවා. හරි? මොකද මට ඕවා මතක හිටින්නේ නැහැ. තව එකක් කරන්න ඕන දෙයක නැත්තම් ඇද්ද දැන්? Right, maybe we'll take one more day, right? Exam එකකට දවස් තියෙන්න බෑ නේද? I think that's enough, right? Right, we did 2 papers for that. Right? We did 2 papers for free and open source software. And for others, we did 3 papers. For maths, we did 4 papers. Right? I think this is enough. Right? This is enough. So, but if you really want me to do 2021 paper, let me know. Otherwise, I think this is enough. Okay, this is enough because programming also we did 3 papers. But if you have any other questions, like any year, any question, just send me a message. I will even personally, at least personally, I will do a recording and explain the answer and send it back to you. Okay, but don't send me in the exam day morning. Right, මම උදේ පාන්දර ඔයගොල්ලෝ උත්තර ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර දෙන්න නැගිලා නැහැ එදාට හරි. Right, so I think we can finish the sessions, right? So then this will be the last one. But if you really want me to do the first 2021 paper, let me know. I can do it, but I don't think that it is required. Okay, right? So then so usually I don't say good luck because no one must rely on luck for the exams. So what I can do is rely on your confidence, your understanding, right? Your personality, facing challenges, and do your best, right? Right. So we stop at this point then, right? Thank you.